Around grade 7, we started getting feelers that you need to take your child out. He will not be able to complete his schooling in the mainstream in this school or anywhere else. Today, Rahul is working with Accenture after his mechanical engineering. The selection process took a while, but Accenture had a Hi, I'm Deepali Mathur de Mello, and I am Rahul's mom. And it's a name or a title that I love. And I love to be known as Rahul and Raina's mom. Raina is my daughter, Rahul's younger sister. Uh, I'm here, I think, to share Rahul's journey. Rahul is 28 years old and he is on the autism spectrum. High functioning, he is working with Accenture after completing his mechanical engineering. The journey has been quite amazing. We've had lots of ups and downs, but to tell you a little bit from the beginning, Rahul was diagnosed, or we were given a basic diagnosis at around between 1.5 to 2 years, which is when he kind of regressed or lost communication. He always had speech, he was verbal, but he would not communicate his needs. So, like he would speak big sentences and words like onomatopoeia, which most people didn't even know existed. If we asked him a question, Rahul, are you hungry? Are you thirsty? Do you need something? There would be no reply. This is something I've shared with a lot of people. One of the most painful and poignant memories that I have of Rahul is him coming up to me in the kitchen and looking at his little beaker of water and not being able to tell me, Mummy, I'm thirsty, I need water. It always gives me a lump in my throat. So our journey started from there, and we had a diagnosis, a basic diagnosis of PDD-NOS, which is pervasive developmental disorder, not otherwise specified, without actually having a label or a diagnosis of autism. Though we were told that this is what it would progress to autism eventually. When we got to know this, it was like somebody had socked me in the face and I didn't know what to do. I spent a whole day just sitting on my bed and crying. Just, why me? Why my child? What is happening? But after that, when my angst had poured itself out, I made up my mind that I will do whatever it takes to help my child overcome this difficulty and help him in to get out of it and be able to live a fruitful and happy, peaceful life. To that extent, I approached a counselor who guided me, and she told me a few things that stayed with me all my life, and that's how I was able to help him and support him in this journey. She said, tune into your child with the exception of everyone else or everything else around you. Um, Understand him, be with him, understand his needs, what he requires, and then you'll be able to help him in the best. And that's exactly what I did. And that's exactly what I tell parents today as well. Tune into your child. If you can understand your child, you can help him or her. So after the diagnosis, we did reach out for therapies and support. And the next important thing was schooling. So initially, in the nursery, we were able to, get him into a nursery school, which was known to us. He spent the entire year standing at the entrance of the classroom, crying, "Mommy, come!" And I was told, "Don't come, don't be there. Let him move inside." And the reward was at the end of the year of nursery, he went into class. After that, he moved on to a proper school where he did his kindergarten there, which was also okay, though it was a school only for boys. So no, but in kindergarten there were mixed. The teachers were sweet. He was quite okay there. But when he moved on to the primary school, it was a huge challenge. The problem was the classroom size was around 70 young little boys who were all over the place, and very hyperactive as little kids are. So it was hard for him to adjust over there or to be understood. Also, there was no understanding of what was required. They were very supportive in terms of the fact that it was a Catholic school. My husband is a Catholic, so they welcomed Rahul from that aspect and were trying to be supportive. But they really were not able to reach him or try to help him in school. So he would walk out of school, with four boys actually pulling him out with holding his arms and bringing him out, and he would be this really lost little fellow. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to get him support. And there was bullying, there was rowdiness, there was children who were mean to him. Uh, there were teachers who really didn't understand what to do. Then we came, his special educator uh, told us about this other school, which was relatively new, who do take in children with special needs, with disabilities. And though they didn't take kids with autism, they took kids with LD, learning difficulties. And so they said, what she suggested was that he would be able to function well because they had a smaller classroom size, and they understood that what the needs were. So we were lucky we managed to get in there. And for the first few years, he started in grade 2. They were supportive. There were teachers who took the trouble to, understand Rahul, to work with him the way he needs. But there was always a little bit that was off. Though he did well, he was there in the school. There were things that happened. There were difficult things as well that occurred. But by and large, he was happy. He was comfortable. The children were with him. He enjoyed his peer group. He enjoyed going to school. However, at around grade 7, we started getting feelers that you need to take your child out. He will not be able to complete his schooling in the mainstream in this school or anywhere else. Move him to NIOS, move him to a separate school, a special school. And I wasn't very keen because I said, he's happy here. He has a good social environment. He has a good peer group. Why pull him out of a situation where he is comfortable and happy? He needs to be included with the rest of his friends. So what we realized later was that it was more about their 10% results for board exams and not wanting to put in that extra effort which would be needed for a child like Rahul. So to cut a long story short, they tried to fail him and tried to push him out of school in grade 9. But we approached the ICSE board and they were very supportive, and Rahul was taken back into school in grade 10. When the school tried to force us out, it was quite traumatic, as much for Rahul as for us. But we were lucky that the council intervened and he was allowed to complete, and he completed his grade 10 from Bombay in the same school after a lot of struggle with the school. After 10th, we moved to Gurgaon because my husband got a job there. And the same story recurred, trying to find a school for Rahul in Gurgaon or even Delhi, which would accept him in grade 11, 2 in the science stream. Because he was interested in machines, he was interested in fans. Everywhere he would go, he would look at a fan and try to see how it was turning, how it was moving, how it works. Or maybe even a washing machine or a dishwasher, the lift. All these machines were what interested him, which told us that yes, this is what he would like to do. And from childhood, the visual spatial skills of putting together a puzzle. I always believed that he would be able to put things together. So if he's working, for example, what he's doing today in Accenture, he's after doing his mechanical engineering, he is an associate software engineer where he works with mechanical drawing softwares. So he's putting together in the same way that he was putting a puzzle together. He's designing and putting pieces together to create a whole, or testing those things. So that's where I had envisioned him to be, and he is there. Thankfully, God is kind. After he finishes grade 12, I see from Shri Ram School in Gurgaon. We were looking for a college that would be close to home and which would be accepting of Rahul and his challenges. We found Ansal University, which is very close to our home. And we actually went for a recce over there, and met the some of the faculty, and it was very nice because we went to the electrical engineering lab, and the lab teacher who was there, he was very sweet. He actually opened out a whole fan, and he saw that Rahul was interested, and he opened the whole fan and showed him how everything works. This is the motor, this is the thing, and Rahul was fascinated. So we were sure. We said we're going to take him here, and he's going to study here. It's close to home. This is what he wants to do. But there was challenges when he of course we didn't go into the JE line. We went for a direct admission, and they were very they were very sweet. Oh wow, very good, very good. But will he be able to cope? It's not school where you have the support. You will not have the support of, the teachers will not be as approachable as in school, because they're no longer, till school you're a child, you're a baby. In college you're not. You have to function on your own. The first year he did really well because a lot of the curriculum was part of what he had studied in his ISC. So he did okay, and it went on from there. He completed his mechanical engineering. There were mindsets that had to be overcome. There were professors who there was one professor in particular who actually told him, "You like fans? Why don't you tell your father to, set up a shop where you can sell fans?" And he actually pulled him down to say that, "You can't do it. Why are you sitting in this class? You shouldn't be doing this. You should be selling fans in a shop." That was the only time that I saw Rahul demotivated. It was so ingrained into him so many times that was the only time after the second year or so when he said for the first time, "I can't do this." And when I asked him, he said, "Because Sir said this." I said, "Rahul, please don't think of what Sir said. You have to decide whether you want to and can do this or not." "No, I'm weak." I said, "Are you weak? You've done so many things. Are you weak?" "But Sir says I'm weak." I said, "Well, forget Sir. There are so many others who don't say you're weak." So it actually demotivated him at that point. But thankfully, we were able to counsel him and make him understand, and he completed his engineering. So I would spend a lot of time in college as well, because his basic difficulty was communication and reporting back. And he has very large handwriting. The fine motor skills are not that great, so taking down notes, he would take longer to write. He would note taking was not easy. So to facilitate all of that, I was like a constant shadow in college. I've done half my engineering too, and so I used to go there to complete his notes, to understand what projects he needs to complete. Maybe lab work has to be completed, or just to see if there was something that was missing out. Bullying happened after the first year of college, and we didn't realize. So Rahul suddenly, at age 18, I think, he had a seizure, which he never had from childhood. And we thought कि ये तो होने वाला नहीं है. This is kind of done. He's past that stage. But unfortunately, he had 3 seizures in the space of around 6 to 8 months, which were very worrying for us, and we didn't know what happened. It's when we were sitting the one time when we were sitting in the doctor's waiting room, there was, if you remember, if some will remember, there was an incident of a child being molested and was killed, I think, eventually in one of the schools in Delhi. Rahul was watching that whole thing while we were sitting in the waiting room. And after we came home, he kind of just came out with this whole thing of, it happened in the bathroom. What happens in the bathroom? Why does it happen in the bathroom? And since he could not, he finds it difficult to convey what he needs. We got a little saying, what happened? Why is he reacting to it so strongly? It's after this, one way of getting him to express himself was to make him write down. So we asked him to write down, and he wrote down that his own peer group, his own classmates used to bully him when he would go to the washroom. They would so he wouldn't use the urinal, he would go um, to the cubicle, and they would throw water on him. They would say, call him names or say things to him, Rahul this, and make him do things like sit down, stand up, that kind of bullying. And one time, apparently, one of the boys told him, lie down on the floor. And he said, no, I won't do it. So that boy came with some kind of a stick to hit him with. And that scared him a lot. When he saw this clip of that child, he was able to come out and tell us that something like this has been happening to me. And for those days, that's probably where the stress came from. That's probably where the seizure started, from the stress. So we had to counsel him. Then, of course, we took it up with the college. The college did a whole, put an inquiry into it. The boys were pulled up. The one who actually came with that stick to hit him was suspended for a few days. But the beauty of this child is that despite all that, if I asked him, be careful, why? He's my friend. That's all he said. That's how simple and how forgiving he was. He's my friend. So I could never tell him that, stay away from this person. He's not good for you. He's my friend. He's my classmate. I will always. So we had to counsel him out of that stress and that angst. It was a very difficult time because the seizure and the medication affected him a lot. Not only did it affect him, his, the mental part of it, where he was, the medication knocked him out for a while. He was on a low. It was fluctuating. But physically, the medication also affected his health. So he put on weight. There was other parameters. Today, Rahul is working with Accenture after his mechanical engineering. The selection process took a while, but Accenture had a neurodiversity program. And we had applied, and it took almost a year for them to get back. But once they took him in, the support was tremendous. They supported him, guided him, helped him at every stage. I mean, for me, it was a totally different experience. For school and college, I was there all the time, trying to support, trying to help, trying to shadow, trying to get the systems in place, trying to, get what is needed for him. Here, I had to ask them, do you need help? And they said, no. Is he doing okay? He's doing fine. Is there something he's not doing? No, he's fine. And he did a 6 months internship with them and was trained on an app or a software called SP3D. And after the internship, there was a break for a few months. And then they came back and offered him a full-time employment and took him on as associate software engineer. And he's doing what he loves doing best, putting things together. Yes, there is not worry, but a little thing for the future. What happens when we are not there? His sister's there, definitely. She's a support system for him. But I wouldn't want to put the responsibility on her, totally on her. So yes, Rahul has to be able in his own right, which he is to a very large extent. But he will always need some support, whether it's in the form of a life partner or a guide. I would love it if he had a life partner. And I hope that sometime that will happen. And that's my prayer to my Ganpati Bappa, who's been there with us throughout this journey for Rahul. I hope and pray that will happen. But I also hope that he will be able to manage and do well and succeed on his own. And I hope very fervently that society will learn to accept people like Rahul, people who are different, not just as a disabled person or not as a disabled person, but to understand this is a different kind of person. Thank you so much, Josh Talks, for taking this initiative. It's very important and very necessary for everyone to know how the diverse people can function within society with everybody. So neurodiversity is very important, and having taken up this cause of autism, kudos to you. Hats off. Thank you so much and keep going. All the best.
Hello everyone. I'm so happy that Josh Talks has brought this channel out where we can hear the stories of the incredible mothers and fathers of autistic children. I had somebody in my own family who was autistic. If you are the parent of a young child who has autism, please share your information with Josh Talks in the form below. This will help Josh Talks better understand the problems that you face and the content that needs to be created. Your information will be kept confidential. Only a few members of the team will have access to this data who will call you to have a short conversation with you.